In this video, I wanted to describe or explain how I understand Judith Butler's Performative Acts essay. So I'm going to start with the very first section, which is sex, gender. And I'll start with a true story. I think it was year 9, and I was sitting on a stool like this in science class, cross-legged like this. There were tables, of course, being science class. And I believe it was Peter Brough and maybe Mark Lanky O'Neill in the row in front of me. And they started teasing me, Nick's gay, Nick's gay. My name's Nick. And apparently I was gay for sitting like this, cross-legged. Now, why did they say that? What was driving them to say that? And how can we understand this? And what might it do to help us understand the situation of women and gender in the world? Judith Butler thinks she might have an answer. And her answer is to analyze gender as a kind of act. So what does she mean by that? Over these presentations, we're going to try and break it down for you. But I want to start at the basic level. What does she mean by the concept of act? What she does is she turns to philosophy, because philosophers have been interested in acts in various ways. One is a theory of speech acts, which comes from a guy called John Searle, amongst others. And this is from a branch of philosophy known as linguistic philosophy. And he had a bright idea that not all statements are about just making observations. For example, I might say, it's quite bright out there today. That is a true or false statement. But there are other statements like, could you please cook some pasta for me? Which is actually a request rather than a reflection on reality. You can also make requests by saying something like, I'm feeling hungry. And if you're sitting by the stove, just about to put some spaghetti in, that's my way of asking you to actually put more spaghetti into the pot to boil up some for me. So the idea is that you can, by speech acts, the idea is that you can do something just by, you can make requests, you can do all kinds of different things like name somebody by just using words. You could analyze using words as a kind of act. That's one idea of act. Another is a theory of actions. If I click my thumbs like this, where is the actual act of clicking my thumbs? Is it when I have an idea in my mind, or is it when it transfers to my brain, presuming they're different things? Is it when the connection comes through my arm, through the nerves? Is it when my finger moves? Is it actually when my middle finger hits my ring finger? Or is it when the sound and light occur to you? Is it a composite of these things, or what is it? So that's an area of philosophy called action theory. These are not what she's interested in. What she's interested in is phenomenology. And phenomenology is a theory of the body and the world. The idea is that you can't really understand the world without taking into account your body and the way you're interacting in it. So for example, you're probably seeing me on a screen now, and you're probably hearing my voice. And put all that aside, forget about all that, and just focus only on your impressions, how it feels, how the sound of my voice feels inside of you, the effect it has. Is it warming? Is it off-putting? Is it sickening? Is it boring? Does it make you sleepy? I don't know. And that is what you want to bracket off everything. The idea is bracketing off everything and just focusing on the impression it makes. So the idea is bracket off the rest of the world, but think about the impressions that you have in your mind. Don't even worry about whether I'm real, whether your computer's real, but just focus on the impression of things on you. There's another theory which is associated with phenomenology, which relates to how your body interacts with the world. So, for example, I guess me sitting like this is a result of certain things and creates me in certain ways. I'll give you an example. One reason why this position is comfortable for me is that I learned cello when I was a child. So it's actually slightly comfortable for me to have my neck off to the right. You probably won't be able to stop seeing this now. but my neck is slightly off to the right. In fact, I think this part of my neck is stronger than this part of my neck because I have to support my head over to the side as I'm playing cello. So my body gets changed by the way I act in the world. But as a result of that, my way of perceiving and interacting with the world is different. Predominantly, if I just picked up a cello straight away, I'd probably be able to play it better than somebody who's never learned cello before because I'm kind of accustomed to that position. But it might play out in different things. For example, I can feel things much more sensitively in this hand and can balance this hand in a way I can't do this hand from playing cello. So maybe if you're a motorbike rider, you'd have a different kind of way of interacting with the world with your right hand. So that means my hand is sensitized to the world in different ways to the way that your hand is, or the way my neck is sensitized to the world. So our worlds are different because we experience the world through different bodies. So she wants to sort of leapfrog off that idea to look at the way our bodies create the world. And our bodies create the world through acts. Unfortunately, though, as with Butler, nothing is so simple. She doesn't want us to even talk about having a body. Like if I say, I have a body, it's like me saying, I have glasses or I have an eyebrow. As if the way we talk about it in English, I, subject, verb, have a preposition, body, noun, or subject phrase and verb phrase, or subject predicate, whichever form of grammatical analysis you want to make. The problem is that we're assuming there's an I, identity, me, that is separate from my body. But what she's trying to say is that your body and you are constituted together at the same time through acting. And if you can accept this idea, you'll start to see gender in a whole new light. What will happen is that you'll stop seeing gender as sort of like, okay, some people are born with certain private parts, let's say penises, and other people are born with other kinds of private parts, let's say vaginas. And on the basis of this, or maybe it's X chromosomes and Y chromosomes and X chromosomes, I should say, on the basis of this, people decide, oh, there's a proper way for you to act and there's an improper way for you to act. So I was born in 1973 with certain kinds of private parts, and as a result, it's deemed improper for me to sit like this. The proper way in 1980s high school in Australia for a guy to sit was probably more like this or something like this. And maybe if you're in Japan and you're studying karate, the proper way to sit is more like this if you're a man, and so on and so on. The idea is that by sitting like this, you constitute yourself and your reality. Not just one act of sitting, but all the acts through your life constitute you either as a woman or as a man or something else. So she wants to say, look, if these phenomenologists are right, and the way we use our body and the way we interact with the world creates our reality, then we can create our gender too. We are creating our gender. And if it's something that we've created, rather than something being biologically that inheres in us, that I was naturally a male in some sort of a magical male substance that emerged in me being born with certain private parts and certain kinds of chromosomes. If we can say that, if that is not the case, if gender only boils down to the way we act in the world, and that the way we act in the world constitutes our bodies and ourselves, if we can say that, she says, that means we can also change it. In a sense, we are freer than we think. We're not bound to a certain gender, a certain body, and a certain kind of acting. And that's the first step in her argument. Join me for the next presentation where I'll look at the second step in her argument.